Hey, my name is Matt Spencer and you're watching Rsgtv. I'm pretty excited as we just closed on a new foreclosure. We paid $137,250 for it, and it's actually pretty nice and just about something you can move right into with a little bit of TLC. Follow us along as we renovate and do what we do. But first, a few disclosures. I am a realtor at Fathom Realty and I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Virginia. Additionally, I do have ownership interests in this property. Two more things to note. I've been buying up camera equipment and trying to learn how to use it. This is all new to me, so bear with me. I will get better. I'll figure out how to use this stuff, especially in low light settings. Also, if you don't know me enough already or watched a few other videos, I like to ramble. I'm either the quiet guy in the corner that doesn't have much to say, might be even moody, or I'm the guy that just won't hush up when it comes to real estate. So I'll get better. I'm new at this. I have a lot I want to say, but at the same time, it might be just too much sometimes, and I will work on that. An example would be, I talk about doorknobs for 10 minutes in the video. When I get to Lowe's, if you don't want to hear about doorknobs for 10 minutes, fast forward. If you like what you're seeing, if you have any interest in real estate, following along, please subscribe, like, share my channel, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so we'll see how this goes. Every city's a little bit different as far as how you set up the utilities. Most cities, you kind of set up the utilities with the utility company. In Franklin, where this property's at, the city, I don't know if the right word is controls or what, but the city handles the water, sewer, electric, and there's no gas. So anyway, come up here, and you never know what you're going to get. I don't know, I feel like some of these people are just mad at me before I walk in the door, and then trying to explain that you're an LLC renovating a house. Sometimes they just act like they're not going to cut the utilities on for me. So wish me luck. We'll see how it goes. The trick in most things, despite what my own head tells me sometimes, is kill them with kindness. Whenever I get somebody just chewing me out, tearing me up, or someone that's just trying to not cooperate, just keep smiling and kill them with kindness. I might vent to somebody else or vent to my wife about it, but in front of them I don't let them know they're getting to me. So we'll see how this goes. It shouldn't be this way. Another thing too, Franklin, it is tough as far as the rental market goes, and with flips and stuff. If you don't have a history with Franklin Utilities or have a letter from like Dominion or somebody else for your past utility bills, they want to hit you with a $500 initial deposit. I live out here. I've done several other renovations out here, but this is the first one with this new LLC. So despite my name and anybody else's name that's on it, they're going to hit us with the $500 bill. But we'll get it back. The trick is just when. Sometimes you close on a property and then it takes like a year to get your $500 deposit back. But it's just a credit hanging out there. So anyway, wish me luck. I'll let you know how it goes. So it actually went pretty good. They're actually very nice, very helpful. I still paid the $480 fee. The lady that actually gave me a hard time in the past was actually super nice, and she pulled up previous commercial accounts and actually tried to prove that I owned a property for 3 years, so I didn't have to pay the $480 fee. Yeah, we've had accounts out here for 3 years, but we haven't consecutively had power and water on for 3 years in a property. No, we just renovate houses. So anyway, she tried, and the fee's minimal. It's just I was glad everybody was very nice. While I was here too, I got a citation yesterday for grass at another property, and the date was, just say it was dated on a certain day. And I had some photos and video actually from going out there and working on my channel the following day, and you can see the grass plain as day. They look really nice. So when I first saw it yesterday, I got pretty hot because it made no sense. Anyway, came up here and talked to the people in community development, who were actually really cool, really nice. Talked to 4 different people in there, and they ended up asking me, like, what in the world are you doing with the video? Just walking around the house. And I was telling about YouTube and podcast and trying to take stuff up a notch, and they ended up getting out like notepads and writing down my name and the YouTube channel. So I got a couple new subscribers from that. But long story short, I haven't put together my video on surveys yet, but surveys always kill it. So what it was there's a piece in the back that I knew there was some question on who was cutting it, because every once in a while it seemed like someone else cut our property the way this back piece was, and it's kind of like part of some farmland, and it was not just grass. Like the few times I cut the grass up there, I wouldn't dare run my lawnmower back there because I didn't know what was in it. It was tall and thick. Anyway, I guess they changed out contractors that was managing that property. I guess it's some kind of easement, and so the new contractors, I think, stopped, and yeah, that grass back there's tall. It's no taller than it's been for the last year, but I guess it's showing more with the people cutting next to it now or something like that. So either way, we got to the bottom of it. The survey proved my point, I guess. And we do have a piece of grass back that we need to cut. At the same time, what they thought was ours isn't, because we had a survey. So I can't stress to everyone enough how important surveys are on a daggone daily basis. Anyway, we're gonna head to Lowe's and pick up some locks, because the second you close on a house, you need to change the locks no matter what anybody does it. Not exactly comfortable talking to myself in Lowe's with people watching me, but there's two things you can do with locks when you get a new house. You can go cheap, you can go expensive. Most buyers might end up changing the locks themselves, a different color, a big old fancy set on the front door. So I always go with the cheaper option. There's pretty much Gatehouse, Quick Set, and Slage. And you could go with the Slage or the Quick Set, the high-end ones that are going to be pretty pricey, where after they close, you can give them a different, like the blue key or the magic little pick, and you can change up the key. At the same time, it still might not be what they like, so I just go with cheap locks with the anticipation that they're just going to change the locks. I give the agent all the keys we have. I don't let anybody make copies that I know of anyway, but I can't control it because you never know. So I tell everyone, like, these are all the keys we have. These are brand new. I do not have a set, but for, be smart and change them yourself. Anyway, so I pretty much always go with the Gatehouse. Another thing to look at is when you've got pretty much the kind with the locks, like the twist lock on the back, and then you've got the kind that are like keyed on both sides. The right, yeah, I'm not comfortable in here with people looking at me. The right way to do it is, if there's glass or a satellite window or stuff nearby, it should be a keyed lock. That way people can't just bust a little satellite window or bust in the glass and reach in and twist it. However, for obvious safety reasons, fires, things like that, the home inspectors hate those things. And so no matter glass, no glass, whatever, I go with the kind with the little twisty piece. I don't do keys on both sides. My own house is a little different because I have a lot of satellite windows. But for safety reasons, especially if you have kids and things like that, if someone snatches that key, you are kind of locked in your own house. What I do is I have several keys hidden. Shouldn't say this on camera. It's definitely not within reach of any window, so I don't care. I got a key nearby. But I keep keys for an emergency that I can grab quick. But really, you should have the twisty piece. So anyway, I'm going to go with the Gatehouse, and I'm going to go with like the, what do you call it? You got stainless, you got the oil rub bronze, and you got like this, not the gold, it's like a brassy color. I don't know what color it is, but I'll do more videos later about like how I choose, I guess, stainless versus the oil rubbed and things like that. But this house, Carrie, it's already got like kind of some old used, like the hinges, the hardware on the doors, the hinges they're not gold, they're like that brassy color. So if I get the like brushed brass, I will be able to save $100 or so by not having to change all the hardware on the doors too. If I go to a house and they're got paint all over them, or they're white, they're painted white, or they're gold and mismatched with things, yeah, we'll do everything in the house. But for this house, I'm actually gonna be able to save some money on the hardware, because it's actually got this same brushed bronze look on a couple of the doorknobs I make the front door these, and then all the hinges look good. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. So I could talk a lot better, not having people look at me like I'm possessed. Gatehouse, got the twirly piece on the back. That's the way to do it. This was $31, I think it was. Then you get 5% off or 10% off, depending on who you are. Those like smart key ones and the ones you can re-key and lock yourself, they're every bit, if I remember right, of like $59 a piece. Maybe even just for the deadbolt, not even the knob sometimes. So that, I know it's only like $20. I know it's only like $20, but I'm telling you from experience, $20 here, $20 there, it all adds up. $20 here, $200 here. You know, instead of doing what you had planned with something else. Anyway, I'm rambling. When unexpecteds come on, because they will, whether they're $200 or $2,000 or $10,000, every dollar, every dime you can shave somewhere else that's not that important to a buyer helps. I keep track of it all with spreadsheets, and it all pays dividends. Another piece of advice is, and this is a really hard concept for me to grasp. See, like some other people I used to do some renovations with, they kill it. They do a killer job. They treat the houses like they're their own. I mean, you get down in every crack and crevice and do everything you can 100%. And it's not that I'm saying cut corners, but anyway, that's a way to do it. What I've learned is people don't notice that stuff. The appraisers don't care. That's the hardest thing, is, you know, trying to get top dollar without having to drop the price because of the appraisal. So the buyers don't always care. They don't always notice. The agents don't notice. They don't point it out. And you kill yourself trying to make this house like it's your own. And while I try to take care of electrical, plumbing, mechanical, roofing, windows, safety stuff like it's my own, you do have to learn where you can shave off dollar signs. And the biggest mistake I see is I get random calls on Zillow and stuff, and I go out with, you know, the husband or the boyfriend's like the contractor type, and then the wife. And it could be reverse roles. I'm not trying to stereotype, but like the wife's the HGTV watcher. And we go out there and they start talking about what they're going to do, and unless they ask my opinion, I'm not going to bring it up unless, you know, that they're my true client. I just meet a lot of strangers too sometimes, so I don't try to push myself on them. But I just hear what they're talking about doing, and I know when you watch my videos and stuff, you're like, why did they do that? Or why in the world did they pick that color? And why in the world did they change that vanity? And it's just, they're all dollar signs, and at the end of the day, there's no reason you're doing flips other than to make money. Yeah, there's some love of old houses and renovating, but that's not what we're doing. We're doing 60s and 70s houses because they're easy to work on with attics and crawl spaces. That's one story usually. Not usually getting involved in old houses that I'm trying to, you know, like this old home, this old house, and all that kind of stuff. You can't make the house like it's your own. You can't go on a shopping spree at Lowe's, Target, Home Depot, or whatever, and pick out the light fixtures you would want because they look good and it's what they do on HGTV. HGTV, I quit watching it 6 years ago when I got into real estate. Forget the real estate part and the I sharpen colored pencils for a living and I'm buying a $500,000 house part. Just the budgets they work with is totally unrealistic. I go to thrift stores, Habitat for Humanities. Every time I'm in Lowe's and I see not scratch and dent, sorry. Well, if it's a scratch and dent fridge and the dent is on the back and it's cosmetic, yeah, heck yeah, I'll buy that. But I'm not putting any dented on the front equipment in our houses. But sometimes you'll see like special order vanities that were $200-300, and it's just sitting down the aisle. There's one and one only, $60. Yep, buying it, putting it in the storage unit, and we'll use it somewhere. And if we don't, it's $60. Just always got to be thinking thrifty and where you can cut corners on stuff that doesn't matter and stuff that people don't care. I think you get my point. And I'm not done yet. Another thing, like rehabbers out there. Most houses have 2 to 4 exit doors. Why can't you buy all matching lock sets? I mean, almost always Home Depot or Lowe's has a key set with at least 3 or 4 numbers that match on the back. Just think about the agents when they're showing the house and trying to make things smoother. When the agent walks into the house and she's got to fight through 5 or 6 keys just to figure out how to get in the house and then get in the back door and then open the garage. I mean, I'm not going to say I've done it every time, because every once in a while there's like this random door, and I do have a bunch of random, brand new but random lock sets. Yeah, there might be one random door, but I'll at least try to make that door the garage door or something that's different from the rest of them. But I do try to, I think people should try to make the keys as easy to deal with for the new buyers moving in and the agents trying to show the house. Every little thing helps. End of my rant. You know, I was thinking about it. I'm not actually done with my rant yet about daggone doorknobs. This is petty, I guess, and buyers might not even notice it, but I notice it. When I go up to a house, whether it's just a listing that's on the market, or it is a rehab that we're showing somebody, whatever the heck it is, even if it's a brand new house, a builder house, when I go up there and the doorknob's got dents all in it, or paint all over it, or it's scratched all to pieces, to me, I mean, that really doesn't matter what I think. I mean, I'm already thinking, geez, if they didn't take care of what's like right out in plain sight, this ought to be good. And honestly, usually it's a good whatever the word is. Usually it's a good sign of how the inside's going to be. And I'm going to make definitely a whole video series on, if you've got a few bucks to spend when your house is listed for sale, where you should put a few bucks at. It's all about first impressions. And I can talk a while on that. My point is, when you walk up to a rehab and the daggone doorknob is dented up and looks like a dog was trained to open it, like, it just sets bad tones. I don't think buyers notice that. They notice the rotten wood around the doors. They notice busted up storm doors when the storm door handle's facing the wrong way, and you're just like, geez, they cut this corner. I mean, what's the crawl space look like? Anyway, I'll probably think even more stuff to talk about with doorknobs, but I'm going to interject all these in my video. Hey, it's Matt Spencer and you're watching Rsgtv. We are at 308 Carrie Drive in Franklin. We've got my co-pilot with us. Hey, you're missing. Say hi to everybody. You can't go in this house, you'll mess up the floors. You just have to stay here. Anyway, it's getting dark, and you know, to cut the utilities on at this house, you've got to have your closing documents, closing disclosures, things like that. So closed on it, got to the city, but the utilities are already cut off. So that's very irritating, especially like in the winter months when you don't want the house sitting cold, and you close, but then you get to the utility department before it's too late. But hey, it's policy and it's their rules. It's not just Franklin, it's all cities, all utility companies can frustrate you. Anyway. Let's go inside first, just because it's getting dark, and I'll show you around. So we paid $137,250 for this house, and you might not be able to see anything. I'll come back tomorrow or the next day or whatever in some daylight. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Square footage is 2180. It was listed for $146,500. It was listed in January. We got it, what is it, it's May. I think it was April when we won the bid, and we got it for $136,250. 250 is kind of random. Pretty much went back and forth 6 times with the seller, which was a bank, in one day. Made the offer and got it under contract pretty much that day. While I think, if there's no competition, if there's no one else bidding on it, then why not try to get every penny you can? Every dollar counts. And I mean, this house was a pretty good deal, like it sat at $146. But I think we went back and forth like 6 times in one day, and every time we got a little bit more, a little bit off, a little bit more. And honestly, probably could have hung in there and chisel it out a little bit more. But at the end of the day, when it's closing time and there's no competition, like I'm not gonna lose a house over a few bucks. So finally called it quits at 136, 250, and you know, those 6 emails, those 6 phone calls, it wasn't that much work. And I mean, that's our heating and cooling system. Boom, done. Like straight profit by doing that. So I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see in here, but I'm gonna turn it around. Entryway, the floors are actually really nice. They just need to be cleaned. Might replace a few pieces. Killer fireplace. A lot of the shoe mold is messed up. Baseboard's in good shape, but the shoe mold, which actually doesn't even really, it looks like it probably was bought with the floor, so it doesn't really match the baseboard. Anyway, we're gonna replace all that. For the life of me, I don't know what, I don't mean to talk bad about the people in case they ever end up watching this, but like, if you're gonna change an outlet cover, change the outlet. So if you want white outlets, do white outlets with white covers. If you want ivory or off-white or black, like, just make a match. I see this all the time, and it just drives me nuts. It's probably just me, I don't know. A lot of houses I end up calling an electrician for a big task like that. I'll call an electrician, he's one of the first ones in, and I want all the light switches and all the outlets changed to white. You know, white's usually really good with the gray and the light tan themes, and I prefer just to go all white. But this house already has a modern electrical, it's built in the 80s. There's no point in changing all the outlets. There's a few that don't work or they were broke, or you know, we're gonna add GFIs and all that stuff, but I'm just gonna change all the outlet cover plates back to match the outlets and replace the ones that need it. Gas logs, I don't know if they work. If they work, we're keeping it. If they don't work, they're out of here. There's a buried propane tank. You know, you gotta play that game with the gas companies. They claim the gas in there's theirs. What can you do? Who can you prove any differently? So I gotta pay them a chunk of money just to try the gas logs in the heat. But we'll work it as a credit with the buyer when we sell the house, and we'll make our money back there. Just like the deposit. Windows in the house, when I first looked at the house, I actually was like, heck yeah, we don't have to do windows. But there's enough of them that have some wood rot, and you lose a lot of heating and cooling out of old windows. And they're wood, so we're gonna replace all the windows. Got one ceiling fan that's actually pretty decent. Actually a couple. So anyway, foyer, we'll change out some light fixtures. Steps, I might run a carpet up and down. I forgot what it's called, like a tread down the middle. About the hardware we were talking about, I'll change these on the door because they're just not going to end up matching. Here you go. It's like a kind of a dirty brass. I can clean that paint off of them, and then it already has a couple of these doorknob colors that match the front door and the back door, like I bought at Lowe's. So that's going to be our color scheme. So getting back a little bit, this is the master, which is downstairs. Same flooring, all looks pretty good. Decent Hunter oil rub bronze fan like I would have bought anyway. Wallpaper, gotta go. Outlets need to be changed out. It's gonna get dark in here. You got 2 closets right and left. One's got like this built-in dresser that I'm leaving right there. It's actually pretty cool. It's felt lined. This closet, decent. Probably gonna leave, leave the same design. Sorry, it's fuzzy in here. Same design, just all updated. Probably get some granite, new sink, new fixture, new light fixture. See, it's a little bit crisper over here. Master bath. Shower, we'll clean it and see what we got. This stuff's pretty inexpensive. And if you're gonna do it in the early stages. I've changed my mind halfway through a project, and that's stupid. So make your decisions up front and stick to them the best you can. Definitely get new toilets. We're gonna do probably ceramic tile in here. But I mean, nothing crazy. I'm used to, molds and mildews and everything else growing around, and this house is solid. So, passed all the inspections so far. We'll see if we start opening anything up, what we find. Their walk-in closet. do have a little fun thing here. During the home inspection, we went up there, and you can probably see, yeah, there you can see that daylight. It's just where two roof lines come together. Probably some driving rain gets in there, and there's also a vent stack for like your plumbing, so that your sewage lines can breathe, your waste lines can breathe. It's just, I think, a perfect storm of reasons there was a little stain there. This mess was all from us. There's no water damage on the walls. There was a hole cut out here, so it looked worse than it was. It was probably literally a stain. You can see it there. These foreclosure companies, like the asset management companies, half the time they're not even from around here. They get paid good money to travel around and manage like foreclosures for the banks. It's a killer gig if you can get into it. But just with this writing and the date, which is actually pretty old, my guess was they saw a stain and they just decided to cut a hole out. I know it sounds insane, but I had a nice house in Western Branch that there was like 3 or 4 stains on the ceilings, and the guys came with like sawzalls and just ripped holes all through the house, hit joists or ceiling joists, made a huge mess. They didn't even like take the time to pop a chalk line or cut along the joist lines. I mean, they made a huge mess, and I fussed, to the bank, but it's just how it goes. But anyway, I think that's what happened here is someone just got carried away, and then you can see where it was like a little, it was like somewhat of a decent cut. It still wasn't cut where it was supposed to be cut, but it was cut, and then we did this just so we could get up there and look, but not really worried about anything there. We'll probably get rid of the popcorn in here just while we're doing that, so the ceiling will look crisp. Things to look for is, make sure this is in focus. You really want 200 amp panels. You can get away with the 150, but honestly, you need a 200 amp panel. The old fuse panels, those twisting fuses, a lot of those are dead giveaway that they're 100 amp. When I say that, that's like your total amperage. And I can't go into much more detail than that. I know enough to be dangerous. I've installed a few panels back when I did heating and cooling, but I just know enough to be dangerous and that someone can't take advantage of me. Too bad. If the house has ever had any upgraded heating and cooling, pretty much heating and cooling, most likely it got upgraded at that point to 200 amp. You can probably go more. My house has 2 200 amp panels. Don't even know what that means. I don't run into that often. Price wise, if you're upgrading, if you're doing a 100 or 150, if you have a 100 or you have a 150 and you're going up to a 200, you're looking at least around like $1,200 or $1,500 for most of the people I get prices from. And you might ask, like, why do you have to do that? Every year more and more technology comes out so that houses are getting more and more full of power hungry devices. You don't want breakers tripping. You don't want your house struggling to keep up. Heating and cooling systems, while they're more efficient, I think it's part of the code, part of the deal. When you get an upgraded system, they have to be 200 amp. I don't know. Do your own research. I just look for 200 amp panels, and I don't want to see, is it Pacific? I'll figure it out and type it in on the screen, but it's like Atlantic Pacific. I can't remember. I've seen enough of them, I don't remember the daggone name, but it's an older style panel, and that'll get dinged every time in a home inspection. It shouldn't be a 200, it should be like a 1 or 150, so it's gonna be something you upgrade anyway. But working with buyers on houses that aren't renovations, just working with standard, helping people buy houses. If I see that brand panel, I always point it out, tell them to do their own homework, just kind of like Quest piping and things like that. But long story short, we have a 200 amp panel here. There's not a lot of room. There's a few slots left, but we're not changing any circuits. As far as permits go, when you're flipping houses, to my knowledge, do your own homework. To my knowledge, when you've got a 200 amp that's just nasty, like sometimes you got outdoor panels and they just get corroded and start arcing and everything else, you got problems. And you're just doing not an upgrade, you're just changing one out. If you're changing a 100 to a 100, if you're changing a 150 to a 150, 200, 200, to my knowledge, you do not need a permit because you're not upgrading. The second you go from 150 to 200, you or your electrician should be pulling permits. As far as permits go, as a homeowner, if you own the house, like my name's on the deeds to these houses, if you're the homeowner, you can pull your own permits. The city does their inspections. Usually there's, depending on the scenario, and there's a funny story with that, but there's like a rough-in, there's a final, there's electrical, there's mechanical. Anyway, you can pull your own permits and save a lot of money. I've done that a few times now with HVAC. I still hire professionals, but I just do a little legwork. I got a guy from out of town that does all the, I don't feel like getting into all that. There's a lot to it now just to pull the permits, about like window sizes, door sizes, square footage in each room, and they want a lot of drawings, a lot of math to prove that you're putting in the right system. I got a guy that puts all that together for me. I package it, have another good friend that I fall on, rely on, whatever. Anyway, you know, maybe save $1,000, but again, every dollar helps. I was yabbering and we didn't even really stay in the kitchen. So dining room, wallpaper obviously, change out the windows, mismatch outlets, light fixture I can actually keep. Speaking of light fixtures, while I'm in the kitchen, I'm going to start rambling on something else. I don't know if it bugs other people, but whether you're selling your house, like listing advice, if you're selling your house, if you're flipping a house, if you're doing anything with your house, if you just live in the house, get some matching bulbs. I strive to do 3000K was like my number. I like the 5000s too. But when the LED bulbs came out, there's different series. The main three you see is I think it's like color temperature. The main ones you see are 2700, 3000K, and 5000K. The 3000Ks are kind of like a warm white. The 5000s are daylight, which are like really bright white. The 2700s are like an amber that looks like your old school bulb. I think the 3000s look good, and what I like about 3000s is a lot of the pre-made light fixtures for like kitchens and dome lights and bathrooms and all that stuff, the pre-made stuff, the already LED bulbs already inside, those you can get in, mostly are in 3000. At Home Depot you can get 3000K bulbs, so they match. So your light fixtures that are fixed with LED strips that are 3000 will now match all your light bulb type, like dome lights, that you can put 3000K bulbs in. And then can lights, which we normally do, which I don't have to do any can lights here, I can buy those in 3000. I said Home Depot because for some reason Lowe's does not carry a 3000K bulb. They carry 2700 and they carry the 5000. If you're doing like a real gray house, like your interior theme is like gloss white trim and like a satin gray, whatever color, whatever finish, gray with white, the 5000s look really good. It just accents those colors. To me, if you're doing like a tan house, like we're probably going to kind of do here, something with more of a taupe, tan, gray, beige, tan, coffee-ish, all those. I like the way the 3000K bulbs look. Just my opinion. I'm also colorblind, so good luck. The reasons, if I'm going to start a subject, I need to finish it. The reasons I like the bulbs to match is, one, for photography. It makes a huge difference in your pictures if all the bulbs match. I think if you got a real high-end photographer, he might be able to adjust that, but that's a lot of software work. So I don't think they're going to take the time to do it. So make your bulbs match. For heaven's sake, just make sure you got bulbs in them. I can't tell you how many listings I go in, including one of mine. I did a video the other day where I had bulbs out. Light makes a big deal. Every blinds you can open, all the curtains you can get rid of, whatever you got to do, make it as much light as possible. And then on the same note with the lights, I just think when you're going through a house and you're showing it to buyers, when the lights all match, it just has like a nice finished look. Versus when you go into one room, it's like amber, and you got the old gold light fixtures with the glass on it, and sorry, saw something in the corner of my eye, a little creepy. Gold fixtures with like the glass, almost gives like a diamond shadowy look on the walls. It's all amber. Then you go into the bathroom and it's like the 5000K bulbs. And anyway, I'm getting on a soapbox. Kitchen, typical foreclosure. They took the hardware. That's fine. We're going to replace it anyway. All of our hardware is probably going to go with we'll probably go with stainless. So that most of the house will probably be the brushed bronze look, but in the kitchen with stainless appliances, we'll go with stainless hardware. So there'll be like a dividing line. And I'll have to get some, when I say stainless, it's actually brushed nickel. I'll get these in brushed nickel too. So it's brushed nickel, stainless. I don't know if my granddad made these cabinets. They really do have his style. I know how he used to like to cut things in and do things. And some of it fits his style and some of it doesn't. I've asked him and he doesn't remember, but that's what he said about my house too until a few days later. So I'm gonna bring him out here and see what he thinks of them and see if he did them. Microwave slot, a fridge, missing. We did get left a pretty nice oven. It's got a little nick in it, which bugs me. But I mean, the inside's really clean. Well, I remember it being clean. There's actually a little bit of stuff in there, but the power's off, so I can't demonstrate the, what do you call it? I guess the exhaust fan. Little button, raises up. This thing looks immaculate. That's pretty new. Dishwasher looks pretty good too. So well, they worked during the home inspection we did, but I'm not planning on replacing the dishwasher, the stove, or the oven. I ordered a fridge during, I think it was Easter. It's a 34-inch hole. Most fridges are 36 inches wide. That's a 34. So you're typically not going to find the $999, the $899, the $1,000 fridges in a 34. The ones they carry in stock that are 34 are like $2,000 because they're fancy ones. So I did a special order on Lowe's on Easter. Got a pretty good price on a 34-inch wide fridge. I think I went with a counter depth too, just so it's not intrusive. Counter depths irritate you because you're actually paying more for less space, but if it makes the kitchen flow better, you know, you can always put a deep freezer or another fridge somewhere else. So I think we're doing counter depth if I remember right. Cabinets overall in really good shape. We need to clean them. I'm going to take a door off and go get a color match made, the best we can anyway, just so I can do a little bit of touch up as we find things. So once we get in here and start cleaning, we'll see other things. Definitely doing granite on the top. Sink will stay in the same spot. New window, GFIs. Typically always do a backsplash. My preferred thing is to do granite straight to the wall, and then I don't do a granite backsplash. I do a stone tile, whatever, subway tile, all the way to the granite. I think it just makes a clean line for granite to backsplash. Some people would go with this, which actually costs a little bit more money, so it's a way to cut money, and I think it looks better myself. That's how I did my house, or I will do my house. Anything else to show you? The floor, we'll do tile in here. It's got a pantry. That's something I see a lot of flippers. I mean, we're lucky because we're just buying this house and it's got one, but I see a lot of people remodel kitchens and they forget a pantry. If they don't have one nearby, like a closet or something. I mean, that's not even really a pantry out here. But I see a lot of people where a house doesn't have a pantry, or they sucked up the pantry to make an extra bath and some other stuff, but then they totally forget to do a pantry, and buyers notice it. I have plenty of buyers that when we're walking around houses, they're counting all the cabinets, and they have like a minimum number of cabinet space they want. And I'm not kidding you. And pantries will make people not want to buy a house. So you've got to have a pantry. Back little foyer nook, washer and dryer, all looks fine. More cabinets. I guess like a rear coat closet type deal here. Here's your half bath slash you can call it powder room. The floor was tore out and we don't know why. We poked around. I can't see it much in the video. Can't figure out why it was pulled out, other than the fact that I doubt you'll be able to see this. Let's see if I can get a camera, a light. Hold tight. I can't take credit for this. The guy I use for my home inspections on flips found this. Yeah, you can see it. There's actually carpet. So this was a carpeted bathroom, which, isn't crazy. You see it sometimes. But the pedestal's actually sitting on carpet. Doesn't really mean anything. It was ripped out, so it probably got wet, or it was just so stained up and nasty. That asset management company took it out. A little mildew right there. We already checked it out, nothing to worry about. We'll do light fixture, new. Pedestal sink will probably keep if it all looks good. Change out the fixture. Change out the toilet. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys to death. Either way, I'll look back on this for my own records. We got a in-house vac. It actually worked. I'm gonna go through a little bit more, and if it's, I didn't even have the lens backed all the way out. Rookie mistake. If it works and there's no issues, we're definitely gonna keep it because it fired right up. Water heater actually doesn't look too bad, but the pan is shot, which is a pet peeve of mine, is pans and there's a name for that valve, but it's like a pipe that's always missing on home inspections. It's for like pressure relief. If it gets too hot, it shoots down and burns maybe your toes versus blinds you. So anyway, if we gotta replace all this, it'd be silly just not to go ahead and put a new water heater in. Plus, I try to make everything as worry-free and new as possible so people feel confident buying the house. Living room. All right, I guess I need to start wrapping this up. Steps. Upstairs is 2 bedrooms, pretty much the same size. We'll start at the far left. Closet, Berber carpet, which will go. And call this, I guess, bedroom 2. This is like tape pops. Either someone just didn't do a good job sheetrock in the first place. Didn't see anything in the attic. Nothing's wet. There's no signs of it ever being wet. Just maybe somebody was rough with whatever they did in here. I don't know. No big deal. So we'll point up with sheetrock. A lot of holes in the walls. That's typical. Huge walk-in closet. Not a lot of trees, so the gutters are nice and clean. Plan on putting a roof on. We'll do a 50-year roof. That way, again, they don't ever have to worry about it, most likely. I told you I was colorblind, but I'm pretty sure this is yellow. Call this the yellow room. Berber, ceiling fan, popcorn, closet, built-ins. These rooms are straightforward, nothing crazy. Change the outlet covers. Well, I need a screwdriver to get the bottom. That's just the attic access, so we'll probably change that out to something a little bit insulated and a little bit more sturdy. We're gonna change that up, or change that up in some way. Last thing on the inside is the second full bath. You saw the first full bath in the master. We had the half bath powder room off the kitchen, and this thing's huge. I think the house could have 3 bedrooms upstairs. Between this being oversized and almost awkward and that walk-in closet, that's your space that got taken up. So it was probably like just a guess, a builder alteration. Someone changed their plans. The shower is actually, I don't know if you can tell in the video, it's actually in really good shape and it's still bright white. So we'll clean that up real good, change all the fixtures, and do a lot of caulking. And I don't anticipate changing out that shower. Definitely get a new exhaust fan. I can't stand it when they yellow. And that's it on the inside. Let's run around the outside right quick. It's got an awesome porch. You gotta double check the glass sometimes. Got a couple boards to replace. Probably gonna stain the bottom just so that the new wood matches the old wood, or at least you can't tell with the stain. Storm door. Might salvage this old swing. Definitely replace the chain, double check the tops to make sure they're not gonna come out on somebody, but paint all the, normally I like to, do the metal wrap, but all this, I mean, we're just gonna scrape, sand, paint. Cool setting. All the neighbors' yards look pretty crisp and nice, except for this one. I just got it today, so don't hold the grass against me here. Got 2 lots across the street for sale. Someone might build one day, but there's buildable lots all over Franklin sitting, and they're half the price they are in Suffolk and Portsmouth, and the tap fees are half the price they are in Suffolk and Portsmouth. That's just new construction. The materials, just because you're in Franklin, the prices of the material is no cheaper. So you're gonna still pay what it costs to build them elsewhere, but you can't get the price you need out here versus, say, Virginia Beach and Suffolk. So new construction is pretty tough. I think the roof's probably the original roof. Hoping that light works. We didn't actually try that out. Driveway will look a lot better once we clean it up and try to find some edges. We have a visitor. Or actually, it's probably his house more than my house. I'm sure he lives in the crawl space because the door is always off. Got a dog running in the back. We'll keep up. There's like one piece of chain that needs to be fixed. Little shed. Nothing special. Killer carport. Deck, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that yet. The top one, definitely, obviously keep it. It's not in bad shape at all. This bottom piece, not sure if I want to replace a bunch of wood on it and open the steps back up or rebuild some steps. My guess is we're just going to ditch this bottom piece. Unless there's something on there we got to figure out that there's a reason it's covered. Probably ditch the lattice and it can all be cleaned up. House has like $1,000, no, probably a couple $1,000 in just soffit. I'm so glad we don't have to buy all that soffit. Get 2 new lights out here. Deck. I need to figure out where these guys are draining. It's nice to see that they took the time and effort to put the gutter extensions on, but gotta figure out where it's actually pushing the water to. Must have had an above ground pool. This looks like a little pond of some sort, like a koi pond. There's stonework all around the edges, you just can't see it. Propane tank, real common in Franklin in these neighborhoods. Not sure if I'm repeating myself or not. I had to restart the video. There is no natural gas in Franklin to my knowledge. It's all propane if you want gas. Both, I say both units are okay. We're definitely going to change out the one for the upstairs. The one for the downstairs is a train. It's not that old. The ductwork's in killer shape. So we're going to see where we stand with the gas unit here. The condenser we're definitely changing with the air handler upstairs. Like I said, new windows. Something cool here was actually I already had, compared to the last few houses I've done, it had ugly block work, so we actually got like a brick skirt around the edge, which is great. And someone already did the nicer, like, they're technically the auto vents, so depending on the temperature, those vents can like open and close. It's just a little spring, it's nothing fancy, but at least they look good. A lot of times I gotta go around taping off the vents and we're spray painting them just so they look a little bit sharper. Need to go over here and make sure Gunner didn't jump out of the truck for a cat. But that's pretty much it. 308 Carrie Drive in Franklin. We'll see how fast I can do it. I get busy and these things always go on my back burner because there's no contractual duties or other stuff I'm dealing with. Is time is of the essence all the time, trying to get people's offers in. And all the deadlines associated with the contract, whereas these things are just on my timeline. But there you have it. I'll do a lot more. I'll do some videos, maybe periodically, every week or something. Maybe set up a time lapse or something for some, like the roof, windows, and then I'm sure we'll learn plenty. I am no expert. I'm figuring this out just like a lot of people. Tricks trying to remember your lessons learned and to write them down. I have a Google Drive with a couple things like that, and one of them is literally lessons learned. And just try to learn from your mistakes, and you got to pay for your mistakes. But anyway, that should wrap up episode 1 of Carrie Drive on RSGTV. Thanks for watching.